The credit card to payables solution provides a way for companies to track when credit cards are used to pay vendors, and in addition, which specific employee's credit card was used with each entry. The credit card receipt is entered into Business Central as a purchase invoice to the specific vendor. This invoice is marked as paid upon posting, and the system will automatically generate a purchase invoice voucher to the credit card vendor specified on the credit card receipt. This can be paid when the credit card bill is received. This replaces having to manually track individual credit cards or to enter duplicate entries to track and pay credit card payments. This video will walk you through how to set up and use the application. The first step is to set up the credit card information by navigating to the Invoice to Bank Card Setup page. Select the payment method and the default payment method to use for this product. Currently, only one payment method is utilized. Therefore, only one GL account for credit cards can be used. On the payment method, you enter the GL liability account you want the credit card transactions to be posted to. The default payment method will default into the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central native payment method field to stop the end user from using another payment method, thereby negating the Invoice to Bank Card Setup page. This will not have a balancing account number assigned. Create vendor cards for each credit card company you wish to set up. On the Invoicing tab, toggle the Bank Card Vendor button on. Using the ribbon button for bank cards, you'll enter all credit cards your users have with this vendor. In this example, John, Peter, and Rebecca all have credit cards with this credit card vendor. Though this can be changed during data entry, it does require that one of these individuals be selected as the default credit card on the Invoicing tab. Next, you can create vendor cards for your expense vendors, selecting the payment method you created in the setup. If you don't want to create vendor cards for each vendor you purchase from, you can create generic vendors for hotel, car rental, meals, office supplies, etc. Then use these vendors when entering the expense receipts. On a purchase invoice, make sure to select Pay by Bank Card Vendor to use the credit card to payables process. Select the credit card vendor, then select the specific user's credit card. Also, confirm that the payment method is the one you set up with the liability account. When selecting the credit card, only the credit cards listed for that credit card vendor will appear for selection. Enter your transaction information on the purchase invoice, and we post the document. When you post the invoice, the system will close it as being paid by the credit card, and create an invoice for the credit card vendor to be paid at the same time. This eliminates the need to manually enter the credit card vendor invoice. The Vendor Ledger Entries page shows the office supplies invoice, the payment for the office supplies invoice, and the invoice for the credit card vendor. Navigate to the GL Entries page. The GL entries show the credit card to accounts payable with a debit to expense. Debit to AP credit to the credit card liability account on the payment method, 2505. Debit to credit card liability, 2505, credit to AP for the credit card vendor invoice. Credit card invoices can now be paid using Dynamics 365 Business Central native functions. Vendor Ledger Entry Review. You can sort and filter your vendor ledger entries by card as well as by card holder. In reporting, the Aged Accounts Payable report has been modified to separate each credit card holder's charges. If there are invoices to the vendor with no credit card holder assigned, they will appear in the report first. The report then provides visibility into the details of which credit card holder spent money at which vendor. Thanks for your time in watching the Credit Card to Payables solution.